Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Friday night question and answers Q&A. It's the 3rd of September, 2021. We're going back. We picked up last night with Leviticus. Later on in the class, and I'm gonna ask everybody to like and share and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. And this is for those people that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We're dealing with the Tanakh and the Torah. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by the Lord of Hosts. Okay, so with that being said, I want to say shalom and welcome everybody. We're going to do a moment of silence, prayer, and then read a song and do a little current events. Okay? A moment of silence is for Creator, Yahweh, and His Lord of Hosts, and all that they're doing to help us in these final hours of our captivity. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at this hour on your day that you have given unto us for rest, or your Shabbat, praising you and honoring you because of your position, both in heaven and on the earth, a position in which the Creator Yahweh have given unto you. Through your spirit and counsel, oh Lord, we have awakened. We have awakened to know we are as a people, we are your people, and to you are our Savior and Redeemer. We are thankful for all that you have done, and we are eagerly searching your scriptures out, that we may be in the right place at the right time upon your arrival to this planet. Lord, I pray to Thee that you continue to let your light shine down upon us in spirit and in truth. We love you. We seek you daily, O Lord. There is none else besides Thee to redeem us. We see you in the affairs of the world, and we faithfully await your deliverance. Peace be unto you. Okay. We're going to read the Psalms. It's Psalm 44. It's former deliverances and present trouble. We have heard with our ears, O God. Our fathers have told us what works thou didst in thy days, in times of old, how thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand and planted them, how thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them. But thy hand, thy right hand, and thy arm, and the light of thine countenance, because thou hadst a favor unto them. Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverance for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under. They rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hate us. In God we boast all the day long, and praise thy name forever. Selah, for thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and goeth not forth with our enemies. Thou makest us turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and doest not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. My confusion is continuously before me, and the shame of my face have covered me. For the voice of him that reproacheth and blasphemeth by the reason of the enemy and the avenger. All this has come upon us, yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Our heart is not turned back, neither have our steps declined from thy way. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons, and covered us with the shadow of death, if we have forgotten thee, the name of our God, or stretched our hands to a strange God, shall not God search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. Yea, for thy sake are we killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for slaughter. Awake, why sleepest thou, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and forgettest our affliction and our oppression. For our souls is bowed down to the dust, our belly cleaveth unto the earth. Arise for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. So that's Psalm 44. It's the former deliverances and present troubles. Okay. Anybody got any current events? No current events? Okay. Okay, got a few. It's got to do with Hurricane Ida.
Thank you so much, Senator Schumer. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Governor Hochul, for being here as well. Mayor Murphy, I can't imagine what you've been going through over the last 48 hours. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for being here as well. We have to recognize the first responders. I had the pleasure of speaking with them for a few minutes before I came to the podium, and they were literally out there during the storm, saving lives, saving people from drowning. So I just want to recognize them and give them another round of applause, please. I told Chief Tom I was going to call him up and let him say a few words, but I don't want to put him on the spot. So he'll stay over there, and I'll support him from the podium. We cannot put a cost on human life, and we lost at least 14, Governor, human lives during this storm. And we could have lost so many more if it weren't for our first responders. And people lost their homes, people lost their basements, they lost their vehicles. The majority of Americans cannot survive a $400 emergency. And now there are so many costs accumulating because of the storm that took place. And this is a week and a half after a previous storm. And the governor mentioned in our last press conference that this can happen again next week. We are living in the middle of a climate catastrophe. We are living it, and we are seeing the results of it across this country. And that is why part of my job is to strongly encourage my colleagues in Congress to go as big as possible as we talk about an infrastructure reconciliation plan. We not only have to go as big as possible in terms of the top line number, we have to make sure that the goal is to end our dependency on fossil fuels. Because right now, based on where the climate is, this can happen again. And if the earth continues to warm, it is going to be more catastrophic and it's going to be more consistent. And we currently do not have the infrastructure in place to deal with that. So we will continue to fight at the federal level for as many resources as possible. It doesn't matter what the cost is, because if we could save one baby's life, that matters, and we need to invest in that. Invest in our babies, invest in our children, invest in our families, invest in our seniors. And
okay. Okay, any comments on that?
Where's he from?
That's Louisiana.
Oh, he said.
New York. Louisiana, yeah. Said 14 people got killed in New York, and let's see, yeah. They can't kill 14 in New York. Okay. And this right here, I mean, like I said, you're not getting a picture. As we speak, this was going on right here. Larry, the next major hurricane is in the Atlantic. As millions pick up the pieces after Hurricane Ida ravaged the eastern United States from the Gulf Coast to the northeast, meteorologists are keeping an eye on Hurricane Larry. Notice it's already a Hurricane Larry in the Atlantic. While Ida was generating its 1,500 mile long path of destruction, Tropical Storm Julian and Tropical Storm Kate formed and dissipated in the last week. But now Hurricane Larry is now churning in the central Atlantic. On Friday afternoon, Larry intensified to a Category 2 hurricane with maximum winds of 100 miles per hour, according to the 5 p.m. update from the National Hurricane. Larry is expected to reach Category 4 strength with maximum winds of 140 over the weekend. Is there something? Let's say, tie your shoes up, cuz it's hammer time. Okay. And then right here, I mean, this is crazy right here. I've been talking about it, but it looks like it's getting ready to unfold. So they coming up with this scenario, supposedly a scenario. It says, supposed to be a leaked memo. What it says, leaked memo on Queen Elizabeth's death warns that London could be stretched to the breaking point as people try to flood to the city. So they're saying this is supposed to be a, case scenario, saying if Queen Elizabeth died, all of a sudden, if Queen Elizabeth died, UK officials and royal family have plans in place for when Queen Elizabeth II dies. They warn London services and policing could reach breaking point due to the potential crowds. Right? It says the memo obtained by Politico warns London could become full for the first time. His insiders homepage says London could be overwhelmed in everything from accommodations to healthcare to policing as crowds could flock to the city after Queen Elizabeth II dies. A leaked document warned. Is there something? Just in case. I mean, they're making plans just in case she might die. Any comments?
Okay. What was she like? 116 already or something?
Nah, I think she like 80 something, 90 something. I think close to 100. I know.
Yeah, 90.
But this is the trick to it right here on the same the same day they got this right here that I've been telling you about. Look at that.
Prince Harry is calling for increased vaccination education and access to everyone around the globe amid a rise in COVID-19 cases and new variants.
All of a sudden, he just stepped up on the stage.
The Duke of Sussex made his plea to global governments and leaders in both the pharmaceutical and business industries at the 24th British GQ Men of the Year Awards. While presenting GQ's Heroes of the Year honor to the team of scientists behind the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, Prince Harry said, "Until every community can access the vaccine and until every community is connected to trustworthy information about the vaccine, and we are all at risk." Speaking directly to the room, Prince Harry noted that while at least, quote, a third of the global population has received at least one dose of the vaccine, that major accomplishment comes alongside a major disparity in who actually has access to it. During the speech, he shared that, quote, less than 2% of people in the developing world have received a single dose at this point, and many of their healthcare workers are still not even vaccinated. He then called on communities to address the imbalance as one in order to move forward together. The Duke also tackled the misinformation that is spread across various media types, which he said hinders individuals' ability to trust science and increasingly divides communities. Prince Harry said, "This is a system we need to break if we are to overcome COVID-19 and the rise of new variants." In the final moments of his speech, the Duke called on global and industry leaders to continue sharing their work and ensuring developing countries can also be empowered and access the shot. He said, "Where you're born should not affect your ability to survive when the drugs and know-how exist to keep you alive and well." For more on this story, go to thr.com. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Tiffany Taylor.
This song? Let's say, keep your eye on that. They ain't got him on the wall in Denver Airport and Bank of America, but just for the hell of it. Okay. Okay, and they go, got two more. Okay, it says the health officials are very close-eyed on the new COVID variant. As the Delta variant of COVID-19 continues its deadly sweep across the U.S., officials say that they are keeping a very close eye on a new variant that may be able to bypass existing coronavirus antibodies. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said on Thursday that the U.S. is taking the variant dubbed MU very seriously, but it's taking an extensive hold in this country. Okay. Anybody heard anything about this the new variant?
No, I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
rumors, but I didn't hear like the name of it and what you had talked
Okay.
about that in your last one.
Okay.
Last question.
So anybody watch that Dr. Whitaker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you
I
think?
caught it.
What you any comments on that? What you think?
I mean, when it comes to the vaccine, I don't think you could, have it both ways. I think it's one or the other.
Okay.
I think it's either, when he's trying to say they're doing it for um to monitor people, you got that chipping situation where they're looking to monitor where you at and things like that. It's either that or it's for control. It's for population control. It's to call a herd. I don't see how they're trying to work both those angles. I think they're already watching us through the smart devices, and majority of us, what I'm saying, we track by the social security numbers and things of that nature anyway. I think it's more along the lines of what you were speaking on, dealing with the heart and the frequencies, where if they turn it up on somebody, they could definitely rupture and damage internal organs and kill people if they choose to. So that's what I think it's all about. I don't really think it's about just wanting them to track where you at. They already tracking us.
Right. Exactly. And in case they already know it's going to be mass protests, people, because too much coming out on the powers that be, and so when that mass protests come about, that's their way of neutralizing the crowds. What they already put in them. Use the Hawks to do it.
Right. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think it's all about.
Right. Okay. Let's see if I got anything here.
I think he was right on point when he was talking about the Haiti president, and he was saying some other ones got killed, and that was the reason, because they didn't want to give their people that. I was like, that's what I think too. And he made a point too about saying that Biden wants to have it state to state, so if you don't have the V, then you can't travel state to state across state lines.
Right. That's all part of controlling the people. They know what's coming, and they finding ways to put in place ways to control the people, neutralize them.
Right. Yeah. And I like, and he was saying, we have to plant our gardens, grow our own food. He's talking about dandelions and stuff, that'll heal you. He said liver cancer. So yeah, I enjoyed that video.
Right. Turpentine.
Turpentine, all that old school.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I need to get some of that.
What you do with that?
You drink it. It's like they used to do with Castor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, our grandparents used to give us that with some
right, but
sugar.
it's a certain type.
Ooh.
So it's a certain type. I think it's can't remember what the name is. Let me see.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's
it's a
like,
Diamond G4 products. Just bring that up. Google it. Diamond G4 products.
yeah, but you only take a drop or two. You don't take too much of that turpentine.
Okay.
You know, eyedropper, that like that, not a lot.
In turpentine like a dewormer?
I don't know
It
what it is.
clears the body.
Don't it remove paint?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. That's the
That's
type
a
of
different.
turpentine that they created. But the turpentine that they're talking about that this company sells is the same turpentine.
Right.
Right. It's this turpentine he talking about is a remedy that go way back in the day that our forefathers had concocted and they used it. And it's like a detoxin to the body. Cleanse the body.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
take it every so often.
Yeah. My mom used to give it to us every now
Right.
and then with castor oil.
Right.
Yeah. Just the drop.
Right.
Okay. So, with that being said, I'm opening up for some questions. Anybody got any questions or comments or about anything that was been said over the week? Something you came across?
Yeah. That video that you all sent out with the late Caucasian woman with the that green what football or some jersey. That video was very interesting because that's the same thing I was thinking. How he sent in 22,000 Afghanistani citizens to the U.S. in the middle of COVID and variants. What?
Right.
So I figure
Okay.
something's afoot. It's a hidden agenda there.
Yeah, terrorist attack. Yeah, that's what they play. That's what they're setting up.
Yeah, and
Supposedly Taliban ain't gonna do something, or ISIS
yeah,
gonna
and see
retaliate for
because
what they done.
how do we know they've been vetted to make sure they're not terrorists?
Well, we know they didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, same thing with the border. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day. You can't tell the difference in a Mexican, Arab, and and a ISIS terrorist. You know what I'm saying? You gotta you see them at a distance. You can't tell no difference, and they can they can come through the Mexican border and pass as a Mexican. You know, never know. So but they know what they're doing. They're setting it up like they did everything else. Anybody else got any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Psalm 72.
Okay.
Isn't that King David's last song?
Let me see.
If you read 72:20.
It says the prayers of David, the son of Jesse, are ended. What from what this looked like to me is from 1 to 72 is Psalms of David.
Right. And the other Psalms after that's not David, right? It's other people.
No, yeah, yeah. Well, when each one of them tell you who the psalm affiliated with, each one of them. Psalm 72 say a psalm for Solomon, and then 73 is the mystery and prosperous wickedness. It's Asaph. That's Asaph is the chief musician. The day that during the time. Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if you had some drop on that. If there was any reason why he just stopped at 72.
Yeah, that's the from 1 to 72 is supposed to be the songs of David, and they stop right there at 72. Then the other ones pick up other
or by ASAP and
yeah,
other people.
Well, when you understand about the lineages, it's a lineage of singers, and they all you can see all them names. You know, if you go, let me look at. So if you go in and look, you'll see. Like I said, ASAP, one of them, and that company goes down to like I was saying about today. When you follow those lineages, that's the reason what made Motown so famous, because like I said, they can go and pick any 2 men out, any 4 or 5 men out the street and make a group out of it, and they make millions of dollars because there's a lineage. Those are lineages of people that could with that talent, and they knew that. So I'm over here in Nehemiah. We have to go to yeah. So Nehemiah got a list of the returning exile, chapter 7, verse 5. Then you get on down here and you start seeing all these different, like I say, people read over this, but it says, okay. And then most the singers is also associated with the Levites, just like the porters. Porters in verse 45. I'm trying to find the singers so you can see some of the names. Okay. Let me go to Ezra. Say they call them singing men. That's where it says they asked them when they was coming out of when they was on their way to Babylon. They asked them to sing some of them songs that they used to hear on their feast days. Sing some of them songs, and they was like, how can we sing a song, in a strange land? Okay. Yeah, it's running from me. Nobody see it. Yeah, but anyway, so it says it talks about the singers, and they got it's lineages of them. It's like during the time of during the time of when Zubel came out, it was like I think 17 of those men, and then when you can look at those names, go to the Psalms, and then you see those names start coming up in a lot of those Psalms.
Verse 44.
Ezra?
No, in Nehemiah 7, the singers, the children of Asaph.
Nehemiah.
That's what I was just talking about, huh?
What chapter?
Chapter 7 in Nehemiah, chapter 7, 44.
Yeah, the singers and the children of Asaph. See that? Go Asaph right there. That's in verse 73. Psalm 73.
So, Brother Leonard.
Okay.
So when so Psalms are songs.
Yeah, they songs. Right. That's what I was saying about.
When you read it, you're supposed to be singing it, right?
Yeah, that's what they did. Is sung. So you go to Deuteronomy 32. So let's just open up a whole nother, account of what's really going on. People not understanding what's really going on. This the melanin is what this is. So verse 30 of chapter 31, the last verse of 31 says, and Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended. So he sung it. Then 32, all that Moses was singing that. The song. And when you read it, he telling them all that's gonna befall them. The angel already showed it to him in a dream. All that they're gonna do after he died. And he telling them about it right here in 32. Tell them they're gonna go and they're gonna sin against him, turn from him, and all that. And they're gonna end up in even over here. You're gonna have to kick them out of the lane. Yeah. Ain't that something?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Right.
So, it's not like our folks been rapping for a long time then, huh?
Oh yeah. That's all part of the melanin.
Exactly.
That's what the melanin is. That's where the gifts come from. That's what they talk about it over here, how, the impact we had on sports once they let us into the sports arena. Those are talents. But that's not why he gave us the melanin. They utilizing it for their game, but he gave those talents to be used in the temple. And to be used to glorify him. That's what the melanin is. And that's why we're so different than everybody else. Yeah.
The sons of Asaph is mentioned in First Chronicles 25.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Chronicles. I know I seen a listing somewhere. I know it was in Ezra. I knew it was in Nehemiah. It was in Chronicles also. Chronicles what?
25.
First Chronicles?
Yes.
Okay. 25 and what?
25 and 1.
Oh, 1?
Oh, it starts in 2. I'm sorry. Of the sons of Asaph. 2.
Okay, sons of Asaph, Zechar, and Joseph meant that. Yeah, so all these, I call them the singing men. These are singing men, that's what they call them. So, yeah. And then, like I showed you yesterday, how we saw how he told them that half, that leg quarter, and that breast from the lamb was for the Levites to eat, and they ate it right there by the altar. They had a place right there eating. But then he also had for the daughters of the priest and the daughters and the priest of the daughters and the sons ate that. So when you say, what are you talking about? Well, look at Natalie Cole and her daddy. So just like you had a son can bust a note, you had daughters that can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But they want to turn it around, flip it around. But it's coming from those men. But the daughters had the characteristics too. Yeah.
Yeah, Leonard. Psalms 137.
Okay. I'm gonna get it. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, Morning of the Children about, yeah, he said they asked him to sing a song for, and they said, why, how can we sing a song in a strange language? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
So, Brother Leonard,
Okay.
So, thank you. That makes a lot of sense, putting it together. I didn't, I never saw all of those, paid attention to the singers like that.
Right. Yeah.
Because they were part of Levites.
Yeah, they was Levites singers. Yeah. And that's what people not understanding. The thing about the Levites was they was it's that's what it mean by the melanin is what makes you human. It give you the intellect. So they want to betray the people that they brought over here as like I said, as they had bones in their nose and all that. No, them was highly intelligent people, and they was of a very, very rich hue as far as their appearance. There were no other people like them. That's why I said that's why all the raping and stuff was going on the boat because of the way the women looked it, the way the people looked it. That's what was going on. They try to paint another whole picture, and then they was straight up animals because, like I said, these people had straight up talents. They was looking at them like they was beasts from the atrocities and stuff that they was doing. You know, yeah. So it's a whole lot more horrendous than they done portrayed it. When you understand who we were and what and the gifts and our countenance and the things that Most High gave us. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got something.
Okay.
I have a question on Deuteronomy. Okay, I got it written down. Okay, so Deuteronomy 23 and 6. Now, even when you started at Deuteronomy 23 and 3, I know we went over who the Moabites are. They came from Lot. And what's this, the Ammonite? But I know that you were also speaking today about the Mexicans and the other people and really not being able to distinguish, by the way they look and stuff amongst them. So the Most High say that we are never supposed to even seek their peace. So if these people fall under the category of maybe the refugees or the people over in Afghanistan, we really shouldn't be concerned about it because these are the people that met us with beef on the road when we was on our way out of Egypt to go into our land, or am I misinterpreting it?
The people that met us on the road was Amalek, the Amalekite.
It say on verse 4 because it says 23 and 3, the Ammonite or the Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation. They shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when ye came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee.
Okay. Let's go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 24. 24. Balaam foretell the happiness of Israel. Let me get it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in 22, in 22 says, verse 1, the children of Israel set forth and pitched in the plains of Moab, it is, of the plains of Moab and the side of Jordan by Jericho. And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all Israelites had done to the Amorites, and Moab was so afraid of the people. Okay, so what? Yeah, I see. So what happened was before they crossed the Jordan, the Amalekites attacked them when they came out of Egypt, and then they wandered for 40 years in the wilderness, and then when they crossed the Jordan, now they into the land of Canaan, and that's what the Moabites said once they crossed the Jordan. So that's what we're picking it up right here in 22, and just like the Amalekites did, the Moabites did the same thing when they crossed the Jordan. It says, and the children of Israel set forward, pitched in the plains of Moab on the side of Jordan by Jericho. And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw what Israel had done unto the Amorites, and Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Beor, was king of the Moabites, it is, at that time. And he sent messengers therefore unto Balaam, son of Peor, which was by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against him. Yeah, so he went and got Balaam to try to curse Israel. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay, anybody else got anything? Okay. I got a video. It's the name of it is We're About to Leave. Let it play, and we'll talk about it. Okay.
Great judgment, right? And understand also that you have to be wise. You have to build your relationship with the Most High Yah for yourself. It's sort of interesting because I heard that somebody was in the chat saying that I don't like black women. I'm like, I don't know how that works because I'm married to one, but it just don't make sense to me. But people gonna say what they want to say. All right, so one thing I want to do is read a few scriptures first, and then we're going to get started on looking at certain videos and things about what's happening in the world, and we're going to talk about all of the different events. And make sure, family, if y'all talk about the unspoken word, make sure you don't speak that word. Use something else like lollipop or something else, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. This scripture came to mind today because this is how I sort of feel. Luke 19:41-44. As he approached Jerusalem and saw the city, he wept over it and said, if you, even you, had only known on this day what will bring you peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. The days will come upon you when your enemies will build an embankment against you and encircle you and hem you in on every side. They will dash you to the ground, you and the children within your walls. They will not leave one stone on another, because you did not recognize the time of God's coming to you.
So it said, he reading out of Luke, right? So it says that he saw Jerusalem and he wept over, right? What that remind you of? And you know a prophet that wept over Jerusalem?
That's Jeremiah, right?
Jeremiah, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's where he got it from. But I just shined the light on it. Yeah, so Jeremiah was considered a weeping prophet. So this whole, when they set this up right here, it's the blueprint is the book of Jeremiah.
So Yeshua wept over Jerusalem. And understand, I'm weeping over our people, right? I'm weeping over America, our people who in America who still asleep. And just to let you know, family, there's a limit to how many people can come into the show, and we're at that limit right now. So if you try to get in, there's no more room. But understand that the times are dire. And we're dealing with not only deception in the world, we're dealing with deception in the quote unquote Christian church. We're dealing with deception in the Israelite believer community. And, you know, for you all who haven't listened to Pastor Kelly's teaching about Issachar, you should listen because it was a very good teaching. I don't care what side you're on, you should pay attention to what he was teaching because he's absolutely 100% correct, right? And there's a lot of deception, all this talk about pineal glands and all of this foolishness. You have to understand that when it comes to your relationship with the Most High, it is a family relationship. It is a relationship with your Father. It's not about these mystical stones. It's not about the pineal gland. It's not about chakras. It ain't none of that foolishness. It's about you going to your Father and having a relationship. And if you want something, you ask for it. Okay? That's what it's about. This is about a family. This is not about hocus pocus. All right? And I'm going to read another scripture because this ties in what we're going to be covering today. All right? Let's see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should be able to have 8 here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. I'm surprised. I'm waiting on. Did they reduce that? Because it was supposed to be 10. But anyway. All right. So we're going to read right quick Isaiah chapter 13 and 14. A prophecy against Babylon that Isaiah the son of Amos saw. Raise a banner on a bare hilltop, shout to them, beckon to them to enter the gates of the nobles. I have commanded those I prepared for battle. I have summoned my warriors to carry out my wrath, those who rejoice in my triumph. Listen, a noise on the mountains like that of a great multitude. Listen, an uproar among the kingdoms like nations amassing together. The Lord Almighty is mustering his army. And we're not going to talk about this part today, but there is a massing of armies around the world for war. They come from faraway lands, from the ends of the heavens, the Lord and the weapons of his wrath to destroy the whole country. Well, for the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty. Because of this, all hands will go limp. Every heart will melt with fear. Terror will seize them. Pain and anguish will grip them. They will writhe like a woman in labor. They will look aghast at each other, their faces aflame. Their faces aflame. See, the day of the Lord is coming, a cruel day with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land desolate and destroy the sinners within it. The stars of heaven and their constellations will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. I will punish the world for its evil, the wicked for their sins. I will put an end to the arrogance of the haughty and the humble, and will humble the pride of the ruthless. I will make people scarcer than gold, pure gold, more rare than the gold of Ophir. So we know that according to what's happening today, a lot of people are no longer here. Okay, y'all read in between the lines. All right, understand that man or mankind will become rare. All right, a lot of people you see today may not be here tomorrow. Therefore, I will make the heavens tremble. Okay, so what's going to happen? The heavens are going to tremble. The earth will shake from its place, earthquakes, and the wrath of the Lord Almighty in the day of his burning anger. Like a hunted gazelle, like sheep without a shepherd, they will all return to their own people. They will flee to their native land. So people are going to start going back to their own hometown, their own land. Whoever is captured will be thrust through. All who are caught will fall by the sword. Their infants will be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be looted and their wives violated. Remember the scriptures, family, when, the Lord said, blessed is when your children will have their heads dashed against a stone. Y'all remember that scripture, right? Hey, Sister E, how's it going? Hey, fam. Verse 17, see, I will stir up against them the Medes, who do not care for silver, and have no delight in gold. Their bows will strike down the young men. They will have no mercy on infants, nor will they look with compassion on children. Babylon, the jewel of kingdom, the pride and glory of the Babylonians, will be overthrown by Yah like Sodom and Gomorrah. She will never be inhabited or live in through all generations. Their nomads will pitch their tents. Their shepherds will rest their flocks. Well, no shepherds will rest their flocks, but desert creatures will lie. Their jackals will fill their houses. Their owls will dwell, and their wild goats will heap about. Hyenas will inhabit her strongholds, jackals her luxurious palaces. Her time is at hand, and her days will not be prolonged. So her time is at hand, and her days will not be prolonged. All right. So, okay, he just disappeared. All right. So we got to understand that this is the time of God's wrath on these nations. And the Most High states that he will make the heavens tremble. And before we start looking at some things, I have a question for the panel. Panel, how has it been in your neighborhoods and your areas? Because I know for me, we get these little storms that come in and they sound like things I've never heard before, right? I mean, they're like crackling type sounds. They're like, right? What is it like in your area? Do you all have storms? And if so, are they abnormal? Anybody?
Well, I can just tell you here where I'm at in Tampa, I don't think I'm going to be fishing again for a while. So if people have seen how bad the Bay has been, especially in the Tampa Bay area, it's bad. And, that's just one of the things, at least, that I've noticed.
So what do you say is bad? I mean, is this the waters choppy? What is going on?
No, it's just a red tide. And the red tide, the way that it's causing the fish to die. So this is worse than it was, I guess, a couple years ago. So, that's really some of the crazy things that's going on. And they're even saying this is early in the red tide season. It shouldn't be this bad. But here we are.
Anyone else experience anything weird in their area?
Well, it's not so much, this is Carlene out of Georgia. It's not so much that it's weird, it is so much of it. We're getting a lot more rain, and the one thing that really changed here in Georgia is we are seeing an abundant amount of snakes. Now, Georgia is hot anyway during the summer, and so it's not uncommon to see snakes, but it is very uncommon to see as many as we are seeing. They're not hiding, they are just out. Every single day you are seeing a bunch of snakes. Some of them are poisonous or venomous and some of them are not. And here in Georgia, Georgia has a law that won't allow you to kill snakes that are non-venomous. Although I try to get my husband to kill them, they snakes to me. But we are seeing a huge increase in snakes here in Georgia.
Anyone else see anything in their areas of neck of the woods?
Well, you know, here in the Pacific Northwest, we have had such heat that one report was that it was 200 people that had died here. And also, we have had 26 earthquakes, but they're small.
26 earthquakes?
26 small earthquakes, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So when we think about what's happening, we saw in Isaiah chapter 13 that the Most High wrath will be poured out and that judgment is falling down on them. And also we see that the Most High said he's going to shake the heavens, he's going to shake the earth. But also we've always taught that what we're going to see here is judgment on the nations. Now, but after the judgment on the nations, remember, they shall come out with great substance. So Isaiah 13 talks about judgment. Isaiah 14 talks about deliverance. The Lord will have compassion on Jacob. Once again, he will choose Israel and will settle them in their own land. Foreigners will join them and unite with the descendants of Jacob. Nations will take them and bring them to their own place. And Israel will take possession of the nations and make them male and female servants in the Lord's land. They will make captives of their captors and rule over their oppressors. On the day the Lord gives you relief from your suffering and turmoil and from the harsh labor forced on you, you will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon. How the oppressor has come to an end, how his fury has ended. The Lord has broken the rod of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers, which in anger struck down peoples with unceasing blows, and in fury subdued nations with relentless aggression. All the lands are at rest and at peace. They break into singing, even the junipers and the cedars of Lebanon. Gloat over you and say, now that you have been laid low, no one comes to cut us down. The realm of the dead below is all astir to meet you at your coming. It rouses the spirits of the departed to greet you. So we see here that Israel is going to be delivered, right, after all those judgments. So let's look at some things and get your comments on it as we move forward. Now, this happened just yesterday. This is Costa Rica.
A powerful magnitude 7 earthquake struck off the coast of Panama Wednesday afternoon. The quake was centered about 30 miles to the south of the Punta de Viri Peninsula, south of the border between Panama and Costa Rica. It hit at 2:15 p.m. Pacific time. A shake map from the USGS indicates shaking was felt throughout the region, as far north as the border between Costa Rica and Nicaragua and east past Panama City. A lot of videos appear on the network, which show how the waves wash away the coastline. People are worried about the likelihood of a tsunami caused by such a strong earthquake. The authorities also say that the possibility of a tsunami is possible in the near future. Residents are advised to leave the coastal area.
So, family, something is going on in the world, and you know, I don't know if there's a heavenly body out there that they talk about, wormwood or one of these other things they talk about. What was it, Karis? The whole conspiracy thing, the hidden planet. What they call that? The ninth planet.
Nibiru.
Was that Nibiru or there?
Nibiru, yeah, that's it. It was slipping my mind. Nibiru. something's going on, right? So I mean, there's so many of these videos, I couldn't even put them all. Now this is Poland. No, this is Germany. This is Germany. Now all of this stuff is happening around the same time. I have so many of these videos, it's ridiculous. I mean, I just couldn't put them all.
Okay. So he saw the name of the video. You want to watch it on your own time. Is we about to leave. So he's showing all these disastrous events that's happening around in America and around the world. I was trying to get somebody to take on it, what they think about it. Do they think we're getting ready to leave or what? No comments?
I think we're getting ready to leave.
Okay.
That's what we've been noticing, everything that's going on.
Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, I watched it, most of it, but I didn't watch all of it. But they had some pretty interesting points in there. I just wanted to shine a light on it because you know it's so much stuff happening that the news not even recording it. Like they have me, I think over in Germany, I think a landslide, a whole city uh, just went off. There's a landslide, just the whole city just started moving. With so much water coming down through there, to the whole place just started sliding, and all the houses just all came together in one spot. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's going on all over.
Right. You get something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
like you said, all they're just doing on the media is just pumping fear.
Right.
And they ain't talking about nothing else going on. And there's so much stuff going on.
Right. And they're just showing you what they want to show you. They're not showing you because you know the Israelite, they paying attention, you know.
Right.
And so they're aware of that. So they're giving you what they want to give you, and they don't want you to get the big picture to see that it is time for us to leave. It is the time has came.
Right.
They don't want you to see that. Yeah, because we looking and analyzing everything. Right. Yeah. So like I said, Friday night, last night we dealt with Leviticus, different verses and different situations in Leviticus. I'm gonna return there, right? Before I go there, I was gonna ask something, see if anybody get any understanding out of what was being said about this Sabbath yesterday. Anybody got any comments on that and on what they think about the uh, Sabbath? How is what's the time frame for the Sabbath?
I think the Sabbath is from even to even.
Okay. Why you say that?
Because it encompasses a day. It's the Sabbath day. So if the Most High took 6 days, he took 6 days to create everything, right? And at the end of every day, he says, "And the evening and the morning were that day."
Exactly.
So when we look at the Sabbath day, we're breaking it up in a way we're not supposed to. That's the only day he named. Every other day was a number, but it's a day nonetheless. So we gotta honor it. So if you read it in Exodus chapter 20, verse in the Tanakh is verse 8, I guess in the King James is verse 6. So if you read it, he's telling you. He said the Lord of hosts took 6 days
Right.
to create heaven and earth. So we know that each one of those days encompassed the evening and the morning. But he
Right.
says on the seventh day he rested. So that has to encompass the evening and the morning. So the
Right.
Sabbath begins in the evening and it ends in the evening. You know, as far as the gathering stuff, I don't know about we being able to even gather anything right now. Like for the last 5 years, me and Shia, we've been observing evening to evening. You know what I
Right.
mean? We gather, do it everything we got to do during the day of the
Right.
6th day. So if you was looking at the scriptures where y'all was talking about the manna and the quail, the quail came in the evening, right?
Right.
Came
Right.
at so we need to understand what even actually is. That's a rum or a rub is called, which means two lights. That's twilight. So
Right.
that's right when one light is coming and one light is dissipating. So when the
Right.
sun is going down, you have the moon rising. So there
Right.
goes your twilight, that's your evening. And then when the sun is completely gone, you're dealing with Lila. So that's total darkness, and now you're just ruled by the moon. So
Right.
there goes where the Sabbath is starting at in the evening. So
Right.
if we're looking at collecting of the manna, it says it came. The dew was there, the dew disappeared, and according to Tanakh, they gathered manna in the morning.
Right.
So in the morning they gathered that manna. The evening prior they gathered the quail. So everything they needed to do was on the 6th day. So by the
Right.
time the Sabbath began at the even, there was nothing for them to do but
Right.
rest in that morning, which is man's time, morning time. When did Cain kill Abel? In the morning. It was during the
Right.
day when they were in the field.
Right.
When Joshua said, "Let the sun stay still," that was during the day. That's man's time. That's morning. Even
Right.
time is when we break even. That's even. So that's why if you touch anything unclean, you are unclean until even. Right?
Right.
You got to stay unclean until the night come again. That's when the new day begins, the evening.
Right.
So we 24 hours we give the Most High. We give him his due. 24
Right.
hours.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So an example of that is Nehemiah 13 and 19, when the men from around were trying to trade with Israel, and you go to verse 19. Well, I'm gonna start at 18. See, did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet we bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. Then 19 says, and it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark, like you're saying, evening, when it began to be dark, uh, before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and the charge that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants sat at the gate, that there should not be a burden be brought in on the Sabbath day when sunlight came. And that's exactly what same thing that you just said. And then you go to uh, Genesis, and you say, like you're saying, you got two lights. So he says right here in chapter 1, verse 31, first day. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning was the 6th day. So you see right there, he mentioned in both. So in the evening and in the morning, darkness and light. And we know it's 12 hours with both of them. So, and he mentioned it all through chapter 1. 1 and verse 1 and 13. Said 12, the earth brought forth grass and herb and yielding after its kind, and 3 yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after the kind, and God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 3rd day, both of them included in order to make the day. Okay? Yeah, so anybody got anything else on that? You ain't got nothing Andre? No comment? Okay. So yeah, we go over here in Leviticus. I'm in chapter 10. Leviticus chapter 10. This restrictions that they got on the priesthood. I'm in chapter 10 of Leviticus, verses 8 through 20. Leviticus 10. So this is the restrictions for the priesthood. They got the law of pertaining to the priesthood. It says, and the Lord spake unto Aaron, saying, do not drink wine, nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. And it shall be a statute for ever throughout all your generations. So I was talking last night of shining a light about a blasphemer. You know, blasphemy, talking against the Lord. You know, now, and this is where so many people are not really getting it is they assuming that that's just something. You know, it's like you know, rubbing up against somebody's car and scratching their car. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no big thing. But he said, take it. Every people that's heard him blaspheming, take him outside the city, lay hands on him, then stone him to death. That's how serious that is. So that's what he bringing back when he come back. And right here, he says that you assume that this is some little petty offense. He says 9, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, right? When you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, when the priest's on duty, lest ye die. But you would figure nowadays they figure that's a slap on the wrist. But the Most High saying that if you do that and he's somewhere in that vicinity, you're gonna come up missing. See that? And it shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. 10, and that ye may put the difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean. So what he's saying is the difference between holy and unholy, you come up missing. The difference between unclean and clean, you can come up missing. It ain't no slap on the wrist. So 11, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord hath spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. And Moses spake unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left, take the meat offering that remaineth of the offering of the Lord made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And he shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due, and thy sons due, and the sacrifices of the Lord made by fire, for so am I commanded. And their wave breast and the heave shoulder shall ye eat in the clean place, thou and thy sons and thy daughters. We talked about this last night. With thee, for they be thy due, and thy sons due, which are given out of the sacrifice of peace offering of the children of Israel. The heave shoulder and the wave shoulder shall they bring with the offering made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before the Lord, and it shall be thine and thy sons with thee by stature forever. And the Lord hath commanded it. And Moses diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron, which were left alive, saying, wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy, and God hath given it unto you to bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make an atonement for them before the Lord. So look what he's saying, 17. Wherefore when they eat this, it's a lot going on with them eating that. So he said, 17. Wherefore have ye not eaten it? Moses pissed off. Because he said, why you didn't eat it? So wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering? It is in the holy place. You didn't eat the sin offering, and you didn't eat it in the holy place, right? And then he goes and said, you should indeed have eaten it in the holy place as I commanded. And it says in 7:19, and Aaron said unto Moses, behold, this day have thou offered their sin offering and thy burnt offering before the Lord, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of the Lord. And when Moses heard that, he was content. But anyway, so verse 17 says that uh, and God have given it to you to bear the iniquity of the congregation. So they eat it to cover. I mean, it's for the sin in Israel. That's why they eating it. And like I said, it's part of this. It's not only part of the all the offerings that they made. That shoulder and that leg quarter belong to the priest. They have to eat it, and it's pertaining to sin in Israel. Okay. Yeah. Anybody got anything? Comment?
Yeah, what Moses say? Behold, it was burnt, and they didn't want to eat it.
Right.
You better eat that.
Yeah, you got to eat it. It's of the utmost importance. Right. It's just like when he told him Moses to take his shoes off. He ain't telling him to take his shoes off just for GP. All right. So I'm in chapter 12. It's got to do with purification of the woman. And this go back to what I said about all this stuff supposed to be happening in the land. And because we over here and we ain't doing it, it's got a lot to do with a lot of stuff that's going on with us as a people. So 12, he said this chapter 12, Leviticus, purification of the woman. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation of her infirmity shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day, before the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she said, she shall then continue in the blood of her purification 33 days. She shall touch no holy thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purification is fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue, right, in the blood of her purification 6 days. And we ain't doing none of this. So, like I said before, when it's mandatory that the priest eat that shoulder and that breast. It's tied to Israel. The people is tied to their countless of Israel. And so the same thing right here. And we ain't doing this. 6 says, and when the days of her purification are fulfilled for a son or a daughter, she shall bring a lamb. See that? Won't have no lamb. See that? She shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove or a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest. We don't have no tabernacle. Okay? Who shall offer it before the Lord and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of the blood. This is the law for her that have born a male or a female, right? So he says 7, who shall offer it before the Lord and make an atonement for her. So the Lord hid his face. When in the land, the Lord hid his face. We don't have no lambs. We ain't got no turtle doves. This is a lot of our problem right here. We're not that's why he says in Ezekiel 37, as soon as we get there, he's gonna cleanse us. That's what he's talking about. 8. And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtle doves or two young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering and the other for the sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. See that? So if this ain't happened, then that means they unclean. This is the drama right here. This is what the drama is. Okay?
I want to say that during the time when I was procreating and the other women at that time in the Church of God in Christ, we did recognize what to do and what not to do per
Okay.
the sex of the child that we delivered.
Okay. So how did, I mean, did you get anything out of it?
Yes, we it
Oh, okay.
we were all interested in following what thus said the word. So we were mindful that we adhered to what it said during that time. Whether or not it was enforced, it didn't come from the pulpit. It came from us meeting in our own little group and stating
Okay.
what and reading these scriptures.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay. I'm gonna read. I got one more before I close out. It's Leviticus chapter 16, and this is the Day of Atonement. So it says, the Lord spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron when they offered before the Lord and died. And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto Aaron thy brother, and he come not, say that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat which is upon the ark, and that he die not. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aaron come unto the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and he shall gird with a linen girdle, and with a linen mitre shall he be attired. These are the holy garments. These are the holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord, and the other lot for the scapegoat. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which the Lord lot fell, and offer them for him for sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to the scapegoat shall he be presented alive before the Lord to make an atonement with him, and he shall let him go for the scapegoat into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering which is for himself, and he shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before the Lord, and his hands full of the sweet incense, beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony that he died not. So I was telling you that earlier, and I was telling you yesterday how people don't understand that the Lord is there, and we know who the Lord is. So let's look at it like this. He says, okay, yeah, verse 2, chapter 16, verse 2. The Lord says, see that? It's the Michael talking to Moses. And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto Aaron, right, thy brother, that he come not at all times to the holy place within the veil. The holy place is where he is. Beware before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. See that? That he die not. For I will appear. See that? In there. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Now let's go over here where I just read. So he in there. We see him. We see he in there. Then he says, 8. Leviticus 16 and 8. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, one lot for the Lord and the other lot for the scapegoat. So he right there. He looking at Aaron doing this. See that? And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which the Lord's lot fell and offer him for a sin offering, right? He watching all this. 10. But the goat on which the lot fell to be a scapegoat shall he be presented alive before the Lord. See that? He ain't saying that just for GP. He in there. See that? To make an atonement with him. See that? And to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before the Lord. See that? And his hands full of the sweet incense, beaten small, and bring them within the veil. That's where he is. So you say, what you talking about? Well, let's look at it like this. We're going to make it plain. Hold that. I'm in 2 Samuel right quick. 2 Samuel chapter 7. So I go here all the time. So I'm in 2 Samuel, I'm in verse 15. So what happened was Nathan, the Lord of hosts told Nathan to go and tell David, what he's going to do for him, the covenant that he made with him. And we're going to pick it up in 15. It says, but my mercy shall not depart away from him, from David, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. And thine house, talking about David, and thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. Now here we go. 17. According to all these words, Nathan told, he revealed this to Nathan in a dream. Then Nathan went and told David about it, right? And then 17. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. Now 18. Then went King David in and sat before the Lord, and he said, who am I, O Lord God, and what is my house that thou brought me here to? That's the difference in us and them. See, he right in there. The Lord in there. And he talking to him. Same thing I just showed you. Now I'm back over here in Leviticus 16. In verse 12, 16 and 12. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before the Lord, and his hands full of sweet incense, beaten small, and bring them within the veil. See that? Because he in there. Same with David did. That's the difference in then and now. So 13. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony that he died not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, sprinkle it, see that, with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. So let's look at that since we right here. 14 says, and he shall take the blood of the bullock, sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. So we looking, everybody want to know who this is in Isaiah 53, who the suffering servant is. Remember what I just read. So I'm in Isaiah right quick. These verses, when you read it right, they line right up with each other. So Isaiah 50, like I said, they want to know who the suffering servant is in Isaiah 53. Well, it tells you in Isaiah 52, starting at verse 13, 14, and 15, right? It said, behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. So before he get exalted, he got to be at the bottom of the food chain for him to be exalted and extolled. So 14, as many were astonished at thee, his vested. That means clothes. He ain't got the right clothes on. He at the bottom of the food chain. His vested was so marred, more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So we see right here, the suffering servant is more than one of them. So we're going to see what it is in 15. So shall he sprinkle. See that? Sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him for that which he have not been told him, and told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. So they're going to be suffering servant right there. The priest, the Levites and the priests. That's the only way the world gonna get back in order. You got to put them back in their place, and then they got to do what they do, sprinkling and sprinkling names. Ain't nobody else. These Illuminati bankers ain't sprinkling nothing. President ain't sprinkling nothing. It ain't but one group of people that sprinkles blood on the altar. It's the Levites. That's the suffering servant right there. That's why. Let's go there. Let's go into Isaiah 53. So you go in Isaiah 53. And then he says, "You're here. Remember what they told you." I keep telling people, a lot of people don't even know the doctrines that they concocted in the New Testament. So JC never had no children, right? He never had no kids. So 53:10, yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, right? We know the him is Levites in this situation right here. And yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. See that we just saw the Levites the one got to eat the shoulder and the breast to bear the iniquity. So see what he say? He hath put him to grief when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, and shall see his seed. See that? They killed JC. Levites got seeds. See that? And when thou he shall make his soul an offering for his sin, he shall see his seed, and he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. It's Levites. All day long. So let's go back over here to Leviticus. It's 16. Let me get that. Chapter 16. 16 and 14. It says that he shall take of the blood of the bullock and sprinkle it. See that? With his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat, he shall sprinkle blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with that blood as see that? He's sprinkling blood. Ain't nobody else, like I say, Rothschilds can't sprinkle no blood. Ain't nobody on the planet. There ain't no occupation on the planet but one race of people that's sprinkling. Come on. So then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with the blood as he had did with the blood of the bullocks, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place, because the unclean of the children of Israel, and because of their transgressions in all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle, for the congregation, that's a remnant among them in the midst thereof. So you say, what'd you read? Well, like I said, Ezekiel 37 says, Ezekiel 37, verse 22. This is a prophecy that happened here. 21. And say unto them, Israel, thus says the Lord, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, bring them into their own land. I just showed you about the purification of the woman and all this. We ain't doing that. We straight up unclean like I don't know what. So he says, and I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, bring them into their own land, right? They're unclean as hell. 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king over them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves, see that? Anymore with their detestable things, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgression. But I shall save them out of their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them. Right here. That's how you're going to cleanse them right here. Let's look at it. One more time. So, 15. Leviticus 16:15. Then shall he kill the goat or the sin offering that is for the people, bring his blood within a veil, and do with that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seat, and he shall make an atonement for the holy place because of the uncleanness of the children of Israel, and because of the transgressions and all their sins. See that? But we got a truckload of sins. We ain't doing none of this. Say, up until this point. It says, and so shall he do for the tabernacle of the congregation that remaineth among them in the midst of their uncleanness. There shall be no man in the tabernacle of the congregation when he goeth in to make an atonement in the holy place until he come out and have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Israel. And he shall go out unto this altar that is before the Lord and make an atonement for it. And he shall take the blood of the bullock and the blood of the goat and put it upon the horns of the altar around about. And he shall sprinkle the blood upon it with his finger 7 times and cleanse it and hallow it from uncleanness of the children of Israel. And when he have made an end of reconciliation of the holy place and the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, he shall bring the live goat, and Aaron shall lay both hands upon the head of the live goat and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Israel and all their transgressions and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hands of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation and shall put off the linen garment which he had put on when he had went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garment, and come forth and offer his burnt offering and offer his burnt offerings and the burnt offerings of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for his people. And the fat of the sin offering shall be burnt upon the altar. And he that lets go of the goat from the scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards come in into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall burn it in the fire of their skin and the flesh and their dung. And he that burneth them shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he shall come in into the camp. So see how that works? And this ain't nothing new under the sun. That's how it works. So you say, what you talking about? Let me give you right quick. Here, prime example. If I can find it. Yeah, here you go. So we're gonna look at this. I'm in Ezra. Let me get it right quick. So there's nothing new under the sun.
Oh man, you just missed the best part.
What's that?
You should have just read a few more verses down. 29 through 32. I'm just saying.
What it say? Let me read it. It says, and this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, and do not work at all, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourn among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you to cleanse you, that you may be clean from all your sins before the Lord. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by statute forever. And the priest whom ye shall anoint, and to whom he shall consecrate to minister, he shall the priest's office in his father's stead shall make an atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. Okay? Ain't that something? So let me show you this in real time, right quick. Okay. So let's see if I can get it right quick. Anybody got any comments while I'm looking for this? Okay. 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 Here you go right here. It says, second Ezra, starting at verse chapter 1, verse 28. Second Ezra says they coming out of Babylon. They coming back to Jerusalem, and it says right here they come back to rebuild Jerusalem temple. And thus, 28, thus says the Lord Almighty, have I not entreated you as a father entreats his sons, or as a mother her daughter, or a nurse her children, so that you should be my people, and I shall be your God, and that you should be my children, and I shall be your father. I gathered you as a hen gathered her chicks under her wing. But now, what shall I do to you? I will cast you out of my presence when you offer oblations to me, and I will turn my face from you, and for I have rejected your festival days and new moons and circumcisions of the flesh. I sent. Let me see if I'm in the wrong place. Okay.
Yours is Ezra in the canon?
Somebody in the Apocrypha?
Nah, in the Tanakh. Ezra
No,
chapter
no.
3.
This
No.
I was looking at when they came back, when they got back to the land of Israel, what the priest done. That's what I thought it was right there, but evidently it ain't. So let me see, just right one more place. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. So mhm. One more place. Yeah, so I'll find it. But anyway, what happened was everything I just read, when they got back to the land of Israel, the priests got in order by their lineages, and they all got in their order by their lineages, and they went up and they cleansed the altar, just like I just read. And then from there, that's when they start building the temple. And they got cut off by the Moabites and the Ammonites went and told ARs that they had came back and that they had cleansed the altar and all that. The Levites say, I came there, all of them got in there, the singing men got in their position, and they started singing, and they cleansed the altar, just like I just read. And when they done that, the Moabites and Ammonites and all of them sent letters to Darius and told him what they was doing. And that's when Darius cut Zerubbabel off for 2 years. That's in Daniel 9:25, when it says the Messiah going to be cut off, but not for himself. So they're talking about that, not Jesus. But Darius sent a letter back and told them, stop building the temple for 2 years until he go in and search the archives to see if Cyrus had indeed given them a commandment to go back and rebuild the temple. So he found it. And he sent a letter and told him to finish building the temple. And then nobody intercede or interfere with what they were doing. So that's Daniel 9:25 right there, wholesale. Okay. Anybody else got any comments about anything before we leave? I'm gonna find it tonight and I'll read it in the comments and current events tomorrow. Anybody else got anything?
Hey, Leonard.
Yeah.
Hey, he also made Ezekiel in 4:4 lay on his side for the iniquities of Israel.
Right, yeah. He said, who was that, Ezra or Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 4:4.
Right. He told him to do it in front of the people so they can see it. Right. Yeah, you're right. And then it also ties to, I think it's in Malachi or Micah, where he says Israel going to abide for many days without a king and without a priest. So we see now why they abiding with it for many days, because what we just read, the high priest is going to do that. Him and the priesthood and the Levites are the ones got to jump everything off. That's why he got to save them. That's why he got to bring them back first.
Exactly. That's right. The suffering servant.
Right. Exactly. They the ones bearing their iniquity. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was just looking at Ezra chapter 3.
What did it say?
Where it says, and when the 7th month was come, the children of Israel were in the cities. The people gathered themselves together as one man in Jerusalem.
Right.
2. Then stood Joshua the son of Jehozadak and his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel and the sons of Shealtiel and his brethren, and built an altar to God in Israel to offer burnt offerings thereon,
right.
as it was written in the law of Moses. And they sat the altar upon the base.
Right.
The basis, for the fear was upon them because of the people of those countries, and they offered burnt offerings thereon unto the Lord, even burnt offerings morning and evening.
Right.
They kept also the Feast of Tabernacles, as it was written, and offered daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required. And afterwards offered a continual burnt offering, both of the new moons and of all the set feasts of the Lord that were consecrated. And every one that is willing offered a free will offering unto the Lord. From the first day of the 7th month beginning, they offered burnt offerings unto the Lord, but the foundations of the temple of the Lord was not even yet laid.
Right.
So it's just the beginning of it.
Right. And that's the same thing got to happen when we go back. So and it's the Levites got to do it. But the thing about it, that's in I'm glad you showed me that, but it's also in Ezra and Apocrypha, but they go in more greater detail on explaining how they went about doing it.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for, because they goes and they tell you all how they did it, what they had to do, and all that. That's kind of got details in it too. But in Ezra and Apocrypha, the one I have is go with greater detail. Right.
Yeah, you gotta send me the one you got, man. I got that red one.
Let me show it to you right quick.
I got that red one.
Right. Can you see that? You see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
That's the Cambridge animated study Apocrypha.
Study Apocrypha. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I got that. Okay.
Okay. So everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay, yeah. So let me get this line right here.
Just Germany.
Okay. Okay. Shalom. I'm gonna see everybody in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Shalom.
Yeah. I'll see y'all in the
Shalom.
morning.
Shalom.